Welcome to Beer and Board Games, folks, a show that we put on for you week after week where we play games and we drink beer. And we do this shit for a living. Don't believe us? Well, it's a true story. True Story is a game where you bluff and you try and fool your friends into thinking that you're lying, or you reverse bluff by actually telling the truth, and you try to win the game. Right now, I want Few Horbe to go and truly get us some beers. Tonight's sponsor of this show is the game True Story. What is this we drinking?
Oatsmobile Ale from Bell's. It sounds like Oldsmobile, but it's Oatsmobile and there's a horse.
It's not your father's Oatsmobile. That is dry and crisp and it's not bad.
Quite a bit of Cascade hops in there, kind of like a Hoplicious, but not quite as
Listen to Mr. Beer over here.
Just saying.
That's him, Mr. Beer.
Let's play True Story. I shall read the rules off of the back of the tiny box.
Bing.
Someone goes first. You're adults. Figure it out.
Me.
Dylan goes first.
All right.
On your turn, draw a card. Tell a story involving the prompt on the card. When you are finished, the other players guess if the story is true or false. If they guess incorrectly, they take a drink. If everyone guesses incorrectly, you drink twice. If at least half of the people guess incorrectly, you keep the card. You win when you have collected 3 cards.
I thought that it said a farty game of legendary lies.
But that would make no sense.
No, it's a party game. But I thought it said farty. Hear what you want to hear. Wait, no, read what you want to read.
Go where you want to go. Read what you want to read. It's a farty game of consequences.
After midnight.
Something that happened between you and Eric Clapton.
He gave him the old slow hand.
I was the guy that tossed that baby.
Oh, that's not cool.
Wow. He wrote a really good song out of that.
Yeah, and no one tossed the baby tossed himself.
Now, who's being mean?
I'm telling the truth. You were making a joke.
Yeah.
I'm being a journalist, which is what you're supposed to be.
It's true. Once after midnight, I found myself towing a Segway with another Segway.
I think that's false.
I think it's
One false.
I think it's true.
I think it's false.
It's true! I knew it! I was a Segway tour driver in Washington, D.C., and some idiot ran over a cinder block, and I had to lock it up and then in the middle of a bad neighborhood, haul that broken-ass Segway home. And what the looks I got.
So you were like, oh, and here's a bad neighborhood, Washington, D.C.
No, it's not a bad neighborhood until after the tour, and it's nighttime after midnight, all right?
It's never a bad neighborhood, because that's not a word.
Yeah.
More than half of us guessed incorrectly, so you get to keep this card.
Ooh, thank you.
My prompt is pet.
Be careful, he's gonna obfuscate.
Obfuscate. All right. My family, when I was growing up, we would make the family Christmas cookies, and we'd leave them overnight to set. And we had a collie named Candy who could just barely reach over the top of the table, and she ate about 24 cookies. She was a very sick and unhappy dog.
I'm going F.
It's not your turn, Dylan.
I'm still saying it's false.
I'm gonna say true.
I was going to say true.
It is true.
Yes.
Absolutely, completely.
So you don't get the card, and you have to take a drink.
Okay.
So your first collie was named Candy?
Candy.
Well, it's only appropriate that the dog would have eaten cookies.
Absolutely.
You should have named the dog Vegetables.
Fight. Ooh, fight. Yeah, this is good. Fight. Oh, let's see if I can come up with...
When I was in junior high, I wore tattered clothing because my dad liked beer. And then one day, a ruffian rode up on his bicycle and he said, "I don't like you." And he threw dirt in my eyes. And I ran home with dirt eyes. And my dad was asleep at 2.
I did not throw dirt in his eyes, okay?
True.
All right, please tell your story.
My brother and I, we were hanging out. It was after school, and we were fighting about what to watch on the TV.
Ricky Lake or Maury Parvich?
Maury Povich. That was our favorite program. But Andrew didn't want to watch Maury Povich. And he just, took the remote away. So I picked him up and I body slammed him on the floor. Left him gasping for breath, and I just went and sat in a chair. Click.
This story is true.
Yeah, it's just obviously happened.
You guys used to watch a lot of wrestling, that is true.
Yeah.
It is true. And you guys all guess true, so you all have to drink twice now.
No,
No,
you have to drink
twice.
twice.
Oh, I do?
Yes.
Oh.
And I've heard you tell that story on this show probably multiple times.
You've heard me tell all the stories.
Well,
That's such a
see,
benign story. You've told that more than once?
prompt is concert. I was up north in Door County. I was waiting tables for summer. There was this band called Big Mouth. It was always packed.
What kind of band was it?
They were like a covers band, classic rock cover band. They're probably still playing Door County. So I went there one night and it was packed. And I was trying to get through to like the bathroom. And I went behind this girl and she whipped around and she kissed me on the mouth. Because she thought I was her boyfriend. But was a case of mistaken identity. And she got really embarrassed and ran away. And I was like, wait, we can start again. And I never saw her again.
I'm just going to hope for everybody that it's true.
That's false. I think you did a good job of telling a false story.
And he doesn't like crowded places.
I'm going to guess true.
The story was false.
Damn it.
Nobody's kissed Matt.
Nobody.
What?
keep that.
You just totally made that shit up?
I got to keep that card.
I'll tell you a date story. I was once in Baltimore, Maryland, and ate my first date.
Don't be an idiot.
No, I'm not. That's my story. I was a freshman in college.
And you ate a girl
No,
or a young boy.
a literal date. Like the food. I'd never had one before.
Oh, I see.
And it was served at this Mediterranean restaurant, and I didn't like the hummus, and so I ate a date for the first time.
How old were you?
It was 18, 19. I was a freshman.
I'm going to say this true.
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 Eh.
A 2015 Impala. No power windows or locks, but this Butte comes fully loaded with leather bag.
Our sponsors, the creators of True Story, are running a Kickstarter right now. You can go there and contribute, and you can get all kinds of cool rewards. And if you leave a comment on this video, you will get a special True Story related prize. A mystery prize.
You'll see.
You'll see.
Aaron and I were in high school. We had a teacher, Mr. Poulter. He taught psychology and history. Mr. Poulter would get very excited, very animated, and speak very loudly. There was another teacher across the hall who also would get animated and speak very loudly. So they would bleed over in each other's classrooms. And so Mr. Poulter would get louder and shout out into the hall, which would prompt the other teacher to get louder and louder. And finally, one day, he turned around, went into his desk drawer, got out a gun, marched across the hallway into the other room. There a bang and a thump. He walked back, put his gun back in the drawer, and continued lecturing.
Gotta be true. I remember that.
I just hope for humanity's sake that it's false.
It's not your fucking turn.
We go around and say.
Yeah, it's not your turn yet.
Oh.
It's me next. We go around and say. It's true.
That is a true story.
Knew it.
I will tell you, it was a starter pistol.
And if this
So-
story happened today, both men would be
Fired.
fired forever.
And probably be like in federal prison for something.
Fail. Oh, good. Easy.
I was in school and I tried to do a math problem, and there was the kids in the front row threw rocks at me, and my pants and my shorts fell down, and I was nude from the waist down. Math class.
Math class.
True. Mrs. Purvis, physics class, the challenge was to create a device or an item that would stop an egg from breaking when we dropped it off of a one-story building. I'm just going to take a giant wad of crumbled up paper, put the egg in the middle. I'm sure that'll be perfect. But everybody thought I would fail. I just dropped it off and it didn't break.
That's a success.
But people thought I would fail.
Yeah. So you failed at failing.
Yes.
Well, I think it's a true story.
Yeah, me too.
I'll say it's true.
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
You weren't in my class. It's true.
I was babysitting my nephew, Ryan. He was a baby, and I was a teenager.
What kind of baby?
What kind of baby? A human baby.
Okay, little.
No, a giant baby. He was the Clifford the Big Red Dog of babies.
Okay.
You
False.
dummy.
Well, what I meant like 1, 2, 3, 4.
He was 3 baby.
And
What the fuck does that
Three
mean?
baby.
he was 3 years old. That's what that means.
He was a baby.
Well,
You don't call a 4-year-old a baby.
some people call a teenager their baby.
Here, watch the kid. We're all gonna go off and do our thing. You just stay in the house reading comic books anyway. So look after the baby. We'd have fun, you know. We'd have little wrestling matches and things, and he was a good time.
Could you pin him?
Yeah,
Wrestling matches.
he turned blue, and I'd let him go. That's great. There was an empty soda can, and he started playing with it, and I was like, "Hey, there you go. Play with the soda can. It's a fun toy." Yeah, he reaches into it, and he like slices his finger, and he's bleeding everywhere. And he doesn't give a shit. He's just like,
Oh God.
he doesn't care, but he's bleeding like a stuck pig. I think at that point, another adult had returned home, and so they were able to take care of it. But yeah, I was an irresponsible babysitter.
I'm gonna go with false. I don't think the age of the baby matches your story. You're wrestling with something that can like barely support its own head? No, I do not think so.
I'm going to say false. It was a very good story, but it was a little too neat.
I'm gonna have to say false.
That story was true.
Oh
totally
my
true.
God.
I got 2 cards. One more card, and I win the game.
You were like a babysitter / medieval doctor.
That's right. I also let him play with those leeches.
I'm good at this game. Nobody knows
Isn't it
where I'm
round
coming
3?
from.
Nobody knows where I'm coming from. Nobody knows the Dylan.
Last time on this show, we played a game called Truck Off, the Food Cart Frenzy. We had a great time, and here's a little look back at that game.
We are going to go ahead and shut this down.
Fucking dick. That's 1 point. I'm only getting 1 point.
And
You whore!
I'm gonna re-roll on this one.
You fucking idiot.
So that's 2 points
For nobody.
For no one.
There's 2 hungry people at the brewery.
And they get nothing to eat.
Their Kickstarter is still going on. You should go check it out.
Weekend.
It was Saturday. I left our broken down trailer and I discovered my bike only had 1 wheel on it. Then a neighborhood bully came by on a moped and he attached a rope to the trailer
What are you doing?
and he towed the trailer away. And my dad was inside and he was tired from looking for a job.
True. After my parents divorced,
Oh man.
my brother and I would get shipped off to my dad's on the weekends. So one night I was sleeping on the couch because that was the only place there was to sleep. My dad like came home from the bar with a woman and like proceeded to go at it with her. Like
On the couch?
No, not next to me. But very obviously like right there in his room.
Nobody should be afraid.
It's not your fucking turn.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say false.
False.
I'm gonna say true.
It was false.
Hey, when I was a child, I threw a hammer at a neighbor kid, and my mother beat me with a miniature Milwaukee Brewers souvenir bat
Where?
in the yard.
Show us where on this bottle opener she beat you.
Oh, that was like your whole front. All right, I'm gonna go true because that sounds like something that would happen in Milwaukee.
It does sound like something that would happen in Milwaukee. I'm gonna say false.
You shouldn't have thrown a hammer at someone. You deserve to beat down.
The specificity suggests it's true.
Don't overthink.
You're brilliant.
Okay, true.
We all said true.
No, he said false.
I said false.
Oh, he said so.
That story was true.
yes.
Whoa! Shit.
You shouldn't throw hammers. That's not good.
I know that as an adult,
Okay.
Dylan.
All right.
I threw a book at my brother's face once. Hit him like right next to his eye.
To this day, on his face, it says crime and punishment.
I once was late for a flight. I forgot my ID. Somehow, not having the ID got me to the front of the line where they just sort of touched me a bunch. And I got to skip the whole long security line, and I wasn't late.
You sounded a little like Pee Wee Herman at the end of that story.
And I wasn't late.
I say that's absolutely false.
True.
False.
True, baby. If you're ever late for a flight, just say you don't have an ID and you're fucked up, and they'll be like, well, just have to look in your anus and let you through. You can cut the line.
Dylan won the game.
Yay!
Dylan won the game. Dylan won
We need
the
to have
game.
lunch or something. You do not know me
Dylan
very
won the
well.
game. You need to have lunch, 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 lunch,
Lunch, lunch, lunch, lunch.
lunch. Dylan won the game.
Lunch.
A little bit softer now. A little bit softer now.
Lunch.
A little bit louder now.
Lunch.
A little bit louder now.
lunch,
A little bit louder now. I have lunch. I'm about to look into your anus.
Now wait a minute. Leather bag.
Shane Whelan says, please, more longer episodes like this one. Seriously, man, more. They are probably going to be a little bit longer in the future because we're going to do more episodes with multiple games per episode. Don't forget you can see all of it at live.beerandboard.com, or if you become a patron, you can get access to the full shows just for supporting us monthly, like $5 or $10 a month. You take care of yourself now.